Holy smackaroni, do I have a clean and craft chat for you today. Go grab something warm, something adult, or something cool to drink and pull up a chair. Join me. I have lots of stuff that I want to show you and ideas that I want to share with you. These clean and craft chats typically are full of ideas that don't necessarily warrant their own video. Plus, it gives me a chance to clear my desk of all the things that I put here that I want to share with you. Because I'm in the mood to clean my desk, that means I have more videos to come. I always have more videos to come, let's be honest. So pull up a chair, get comfy, and let me share with you some craft stuff. So I'm doing a major purge of my basement. Major purge of my basement. Like hoarders before and after. No dead cats. No filth, no disgust. Okay, some filth. It's been 15 years since I was down there cleaning last, so it was a bit of a nightmare. But I'm toying with some ideas of making it user-friendly space versus just a dumping ground. Consequently, I'm finding all kinds of cool treasures, like these. Tigger. Brand new Tigger, still with the cellophane on. I'm doing a Winnie the Pooh journal. I know, it's a little outside of my box. I realize that, but I used to be a huge Tigger fan. And I found a fantabulous bracelet, little kid's bracelet with Pooh charms on it. It's brilliant. That spurred me to want to do an entire journal based on that bracelet that I can use for charms and spine jewelry and book bling. And so having extra Winnie the Pooh stuff is all that's coming up in one of my very favorite times of year. And I have a Halloween journal that I started in 2022 and worked on in 2023 and will pull out and continue to build. Let's be honest, we'll maybe make it because I've just been making the stuff for it. So hopefully this year I can make the journal and this will come in handy. I have several of these, but these are Fiskars brand, which is always better than whatever cheap stuff you find at the stores. These don't say Fiskars, so I'm thinking they're not, even though they look very similar. That's how they get you. Some different patterns, a little bit bigger set. These to me look like pinking shears, which I've been needing some. Hopefully they'll cut fabric. They probably won't. Let me see. I have some fabric right here. Let's see if it'll do anything. Oh, not even close. Just bends right around. Gave it a little imprint, but there will be no cutting of fabric with these. Okay, let's try paper. Will they even cut paper? Oh, beautifully. So use them for what they're meant for. They're meant for paper, not fabric. Okay. Look how cute that little bling-alicious thing is. It's a bookmark. Perfect for a black and white project or a zebra striped project or some kind of, all kinds of things I could see to use this as. I love shiny. I love that. So I'm glad that I found that. I'm sure it's a gift from my mom. As is this collection of printed ribbons. Looks like washi tape, but they're little tiny ribbons. Certainly could use them like washi tape. Just add glue. I think that would be terrific fun. I love the colors. Very happy to have it. Totally miscellaneous, but still come in handy. A whole bunch of little Ziploc bags. These come in so handy for sorting small magazine images that have been harvested that you want to sort. Certainly come in handy for storing ephemera and photographs and words and phrases and all kinds of little things. A bag or a box of Ziploc baggies can be your very best friend when you're trying to organize. Now, these came with a pair of Fiskars paper edgers. The Victorian one. This is Ripple. I don't seem to have the Victorian one anywhere handy, so maybe they'll turn up in the basement as well. But what I thought was cool about this is it teaches you all different ways to use that same Victorian cutter to make. Obviously, we know how to do this one. You just cut along, but you can cut both sides and make a decorative edge. You can do mirror images. I'm going to hold this here. Take a screenshot if you'd like to. Let me get it closer. I'll move it here in a second. So you get the instructions for the first few. And then for the second one. The reason I'm showing it to you is this beautiful paper chain. Wouldn't that be cool to make? And explains how to do that. So take that screenshot, because that's worth having. And my guess is on the back of all of them, for whatever kind it is, if I had the box for, or the back packaging for Ripple, I might be able to use this. But I imagine you could do any of these in these different ways. Of course, you'd have different results, but why not try it? Why not make the most of the tools you already have? And all of these, apparently sometime or another, I bought this, unless it was in a package. I can't imagine it just being in a grab bag at St. Vinny's. But I've gotten all of these from thrifting. They were either in grab bags, and by grab bags I mean bags of craft stuff that they didn't want to price individually, so they threw it all in a Ziploc bag and put a price on it. I've gotten some really cool things. A Tim Holtz pokey tool, some Tim Holtz items I didn't even know existed or that I needed, all kinds of miscellaneous things that when I got them, I didn't even realize they were in the bag. So watch out for those kind of grab bags. Anyway, apparently I did at one time buy, but I don't know where those are. I'm going to keep that because that'll be fun to try. Now this little bugger, I have been looking and looking and looking and looking for this. This is my Creative Memories 4x6 photo trimmer. This little bugger comes in so handy when you're looking to cut little things. It is such a handy dandy little bugger. Let's see if it's still sharp. Just line it up on that, press her down, and oh, look how lovely that is. Let's clean up that edge. Nice straight edges. Oh, you gotta kind of pull it in tight. Oh, it still works. I'm so excited. I have been looking for this. Found it in my basement purge. It's treasure after treasure after treasure down there, I'll tell you what. I am making some videos of the purge, but I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with them just yet. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about my basement purge videos, because they're before and during and after, and treasures that I find and all kinds of things. So let me know. So here's how the universe works. I decided I always wanted to have enough copy paper, and so I bought that on one of my Walmart grocery orders. 750 sheets, 20-pound weight, 75 GSM, 92 on the brightness scale. Within, I don't know, a week or so of buying this, and I didn't need it. I just opened this today, and I've had this for probably 2 months. So I didn't need it, but that was the point. I wanted to always have enough paper because I dye it. I use it for actual manuscript printing when I'm writing. I always print out the rough draft, edit on the page, then put those edits into the computer, print it again, repeat. So I go through a lot of paper, even without the junk journaling. So I put that out to the universe. I always want to have enough paper. A couple weeks, a month later, I don't know, I'm part of the HP Instant Ink program where they monitor my printer and they know when my printer's going to run out of ink, and they automatically ship me ink before I run out, which is amazing. No more midnight runs to Walmart because I'm out of ink. No more having to stock up for it. And it was a pretty big chunk. I want to say it was $35, $39 to get the 2-pack for what I needed. And that just seemed like a bite. You know, like, oh God, another $40. Oh God, another $40. So I did the math, and the instant ink is way cheaper, and I always have ink here when I need it. So it works for me. I put my parents on it, and it didn't work for them at all. So you have to do your own math. Depends on how much you print, blah, blah, blah. I'm not endorsing it. I'm just saying it really, really works for me. I'm not encouraging you or telling you to do it or not. Entirely up to you. Doesn't work for everybody, works beautifully for me. Anyway, they've been offering for a while. They also have a paper program. So they'll send you paper so you never run out. So you always have enough paper on hand. And they sent me a deal that said, try it for free. And I'll try anything for free. Sure, why not? And so not too long after I said, sure, I'll try it, I got that in the mail. This is 500 sheets of HP through the Instant Ink program, but it's paper. And I just wanted to show you a comparison of the two. Hopefully you can see that this is much brighter. This is a 96 on the brightness scale, and the Walmart is 92. So it's not my imagination. It is actually brighter, and it's whiter. It's more of a neutral white versus a yellow white. But you've been watching me. I always use this as a comparison when I talk about vintage stuff. Put something vintage up next to it to show vintage bright, right? You want the difference, but it's all a matter of what it's next to. But I really like this paper. It seems a little heavier. They're both 20 pound 75 GSM. They're both the same weight, but this feels heavier. It feels smoother. It just feels and looks like nicer paper, to be honest. And so funny. Somewhere, I don't know if it was in the email, the receipt, somewhere on there it said from HP, this paper must only be used with HP ink. So in other words, I can't take this paper that I'm paying for, according to them, and write on it. Oh, I just broke the rules. I'm such a rebel. Check me out. Watch me go. I'm going to do it again. And so funny that they, number one, have to say that, and B, think they can get away with saying that. The paper that you pay for, you can only use in your HP printer with your HP ink through this HP program. Lighten up, HP. I'm going to use it as I see fit. Don't tell me what to do, SOBs. So if you're curious, I don't know how it works right off. I've only just started, although they said they'd send me my first paper for free to try it out, and they did. They sent me a full ream of 500 sheets to try out, and it's supposed to go hand in hand with my ink usage. For example, if I use 100 sheets, let's say in a month, they're going to send me 100 sheets of paper, which I think is kind of goofy. Really, you're going to break up a 500 sheet ream, count out 100 sheets, and send me 100? That just doesn't make sense. So I don't think they thought that one all the way through. But just the other day, I got my second 500 box new ream of paper. So you do the math. 500 and 500, that's 1,000, right? And the 750 that I got from Walmart, and so I put out to the universe, I always want to have enough paper, and holy Hannah, I got paper coming out my ears. At this point, I would recommend, if you're on the ink program and it's working for you, try the paper. It's very nice paper, and if they have a try for free, there's no contract, no long-term commitment. You can cancel at any time. At least that's what the deal was when I started. And now that I've seen the paper, I'm spoiled. I like the whiter, brighter, heavier, smoother, nicer paper. So I'll probably stick with it. But I won't need paper for a while. But I want to share that with you. Does it need its own video? Not necessarily. Could I have done a short? Probably. But here we are, not doing a short right this minute. I am stacking stuff and stacking stuff and stacking stuff in this room. It's out of control. So the other day I showed you that I made my old password book into a new and improved password book. This is part of the 12 days of composition book series. I believe this was number 2 or 3, making a password keeper, and the kit that is available on my Patreon shop, on my Patreon page, either to paid $5 tier members, or you can just buy the post and get the kit for $3. It comes with these handy dandy tabs, And my mom said, oh, where'd you get those? I want some of those. And I said, I made them. I had to cut them out. They're kind of a pain. And she was looking for something quick, just, you know, stickers or something. And so I found her a few things on Amazon, but they were really tiny, just small little things. And I know what she wants to use them for. And I suggested that she just take some Avery labels, fold them in half, and write on that. But that got me thinking about this. If you didn't already run out, get your kit, print it out, and you don't already have your password book made, which I suspect most of you do, but for those few stragglers who haven't quite gotten around to it yet, I offer you this alternative to my tabs. Take some Avery labels and print out the sheet, and oh dear, we may have a crap-a-lanch. It's not crafts. It's all crap that I have thrown in here. And apparently 1,750 sheets of paper is pretty heavy duty. Anyway, take one of these. And maybe you want to take it down to transparent. You know, change the transparency. You can take it up on Canva and do that really simply. But take one of these. Put it on the page, not quite all the way down, leave some hanging out, and then you have beautiful, oh so coordinated tabs. And then you just put your A and B. You have to hand write them, but that's all right, or stamp them, or if you have sticky letters, maybe some shiny silver letters, because we all have alphabet stickers coming out our ears. Put the shiny alphabet stickers. In fact, I like those way better. I wish I'd have thought of it before I did all this. This is pretty handy. And this would work with any kit that you want tabs for. Print one of the pages, one of the background pages, one of the coordinating pages on a sheet of stickers. And just a little side note, put them in right the first time. Otherwise, you're going to print on the back, and this is pretty but useless. And so I said, you moron, and I put them back in, and I did it again. So it's nice and dark. Isn't that just scrumptious and beautiful? I may cut this out and just use it because I think it's gorgeous how dark it got. And it doesn't have that stupid Avery label. I can just cut that right out right there. It's beautiful. But I ran it through again on the wrong side. Third time's the charm. But this would work in any time that you want to add a tab. And like I said, I almost like that better. So pretty. So plan B, option B. Now I have all these wonderful stickers to play with. Isn't that fun? I love printing digital kits on Avery labels and stickers. It just adds, it's just so much fun to play with. Look at all the goodies. So exciting. And speaking of that, speaking of HP ink, HP Instant Ink, and my printer and printing wrong multiple times, I go through a lot of ink, right? So this is my kit. And if you've watched the other videos, you know that when my printer gets low on ink, I like to play around with my digital kit. It's kind of a crapshoot. You never know what you're going to get. My printer is 2 cartridges, black and tricolor. So when the tricolor goes, it's cyan, yellow, and magenta, red, yellow, and blue. It's usually one color is, for example, if I'm printing a lot of coffee dyed vintage, the yellow is going to go really quick. And I'm left with a lot of red and blue, which is great fun. That makes purple my favorite colors. If I've printed a lot of purple, well then my red and blue are pretty low and my yellow is left. But I never know. It just says tricolor is low. It doesn't say which is which. Just the whole tank is low. But I know there's still ink in there. And so when it says, hey, your tricolor is low, I go, oh good. And I go to my digital kits that I've already purchased and I start printing away. And one of the reasons I knew my printer was low is because when I printed out my second version of my fall print, this one came out okay. My fall digital for the Seasons glue book. But then you can see this one's got all these lines on it. That's a sure sign that the printer's getting low. Lots of lines in it, lots of lines in it. And then this is all orange, and there's no stripes in that, and there's no stripes on there, and there's no stripes in his hat. These are orange and black, not green and yellowy orange. This is pretty vibrant, so I knew obviously that one of the colors is running out. Okay, good. I'm going to use all these. I think the stripes are great fun. I love the stripy mushrooms in his stripy little peace out hat. Of course I'm going to use these. And unless you see the ones that there's what it's supposed to look like right next to it, you don't know that these aren't accurate, aren't right? So when I knew it was running low on ink, the first thing that I printed was my current most favorite paper. This bugger. Isn't that wonderful? I didn't do anything to it. All I did was hit print when my ink was low. It went from this, obviously it's a different page, to this. Isn't that spectacular? It's so 60s and so retro. It's perfect for my vintage lake journal. I printed 4 pieces because I just love it. I could have printed that all day long, but you know, too much of a good thing. I didn't want to overdo it, so I wanted to print some coordinating things. I printed this from Katie's, a kit that I bought for Katie's blue junk journal gift bundle. This didn't change too much. It still will coordinate well. It is nice and vintage, so I think it'll go in the vintage lake journal. It's very pretty, but it didn't change a whole lot. The blues are a little less vibrant is about all, and the yellows are a little more pronounced. Not a waste, still not a waste. I quite like it. Then I always go back to this one from My Porch Prints. It's one of my very favorite digital kits. I bought it maybe 3-4 years ago, and I go back to it. This is the one that I used in my watercolor lap book. But look how wonderfully it goes with. It's got these nice yellows. It goes with it perfectly. Just perfectly. So I printed a few of those. It goes like that. And then I think this is one from Carrie Gibson. She used to be Carrie's Mixed Media Art. Now she just goes by Carrie Gibson Art, I think. This is all vintage. It's vintage wallpaper looking. It's all vintagey, creamy with red roses, or dark, dusty red roses and green leaves. It looks nothing like this, but this is what happens when my printer is running out of ink. This is a kit that I purchased for a garden journal that I'm working on eventually. These are all, it's very creamy, pink, peachy, and browns. Not anymore. And again, I didn't do anything except hit print. I didn't manipulate. I didn't take them to Canva. I didn't do anything except hit print when my printer is running low on ink. This is part of that kit, and this is another one of Carrie's. This is a coffee dyed print from Carrie's Etsy shop, and either her Etsy shop or her Patreon, I'm not sure which, but it's supposed to be coffee dyed, vintage, dark brown, but not right now. Isn't that so fun? So I went and I did one more kit. This is, these are metallics. I used this in my Fall Colors art journal that I started, I think 2 falls ago. I may pull that out this fall and do some more pages in it. But it's metallic and it's industrial and it's dark blue and rusty copper. And this is all metallic, but not right now. And then here's another from that same kit. So pretty. I just love it. So all of these are going to go in my vintage lake journal. Now, this, is it vintage lakey? I don't know. It looks very underwatery to me. It looks like an old boat, very rustic, a boat paint job that's peeling, an old wooden canoe. This looks like rocks. We have a lot of shale here, and certainly could be shale stone and beach rocks for sure. So absolutely, I think I can make it work, and if not, it'll work someplace else. But it's just a reminder, and if you can't remember, go right now, pause this video, write yourself a post-it note, stick it on your printer, and when it says low on ink, before you switch out that cartridge, because to my mind, I've already paid for the ink in that cartridge. I've already paid for all this ink. If I take out the cartridge and put in a brand new one, all that ink gets thrown out because I'm not drilling holes in them and blowing them into jars anymore, because that just was not worth the effort. So I do now just recycle or resell. I'm donating back all those ink cartridges that I bought to try to make fun sprays, essentially. I didn't know I was making fun sprays at the time, but now I know a better, easier, faster way. So I'm not going to do it the old crappy way anymore. Put a post-it note on your printer before you switch out the cartridges. Have some fun. Print the digital kits you already have purchased. See them in a new light. That way, not only are you getting your money's worth out of that ink that's not getting wasted, but I already bought all these digital kits. Well, that one is mine. I didn't have to buy that, but I bought that one. I bought that one. I bought that one, I think, from Carrie's shop, and I bought that one. So I'm getting new life for digital kits that I've already purchased. I think that's frugal crafting, and that's ever so popular. The other day, I was trying to cut some things on camera and was kind of complaining. I was using this one and said, oh, my Fiskars brand is in the kitchen. It has a wire. Oh, can you see the wire? Right here is a wire. My fat finger's out of the way. It's right here. This little wire makes such a difference when you're trying to cut things out precisely. This wire follows the cut. It's where the blade is. And so it's way more accurate than trying to line it up without it. Now, I've had this one as long as I've been doing creative memories. That's got to be 20, 25, 30 years ago. Holy crap. So this one's been around a really long time, and I never had a problem. I wanted an extra one for the kitchen. I found this one for $3 at St. Vinny's. You never know what you're going to find there. It was $2.99. I came home, I looked it up, and it's $25, $26 on Amazon for this particular size. I absolutely love it. This is my extra one. I keep it in the kitchen for late night crafting, and I never had one that had that wire in it. Maybe if we do this, it'll be easier to see. Right there in the center. And it goes right along where that blade is. It's pretty darn accurate. That's not to say I still don't have crumbs of things that I shouldn't have, but it's far more accurate than this. Anyway, in that video, I said, oh, my Fiskars brand in the other room has a wire, and that's way easier. Well, this is a Fiskars brand as well. So it's just a different type of printer. Excuse me, trimmer. These are way more expensive than these. This particular one doesn't have the swing out arm. I've never, and it's got these holes. You're supposed to be able to put it in a scrapbook and just have it with you all the time. I have never used this because I don't use my bless it, it's not a printer here, it's a trimmer. It's a trimmer. I have never pulled this out to use this because this is not how I use. I'm assuming that if you want it to be something to be cut down to 7 inches, you line that up. Let's just test this out because I've never done this. Put it on the 7-inch mark, line it up, give it a trim. And if I go to here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, magically, it's cut to 7 inches. You know, if you're cutting 12 by 12 paper down or something like that. I don't use my trimmer this way because I'm ambidextrous and because I use both hands equally. I do everything a little odd. if I'm using my right hand, it's in a left-handed way, and vice versa. If I'm using my left hand, it's in sort of a back-assward right-handed way. When I trim paper, I trim it this way because this is easier for me to see. It's easier for me to do. I line it up at the bottom and I do this with my left hand. Apparently, I don't like sliding that with my right. I'm sure I have, because I alternate. I go back and forth with both hands all the time. So if I were to bring this out, I suppose, let's try another experiment. If I do it back asswards, if I line that up to 5 and do it this way, do I have a 5-inch piece of paper? Well, I do. But where we're sitting right now, I'll show you. There's a stack of stuff right here, and this thing it's of no use to me. Plus, it's really close. It's measuring, and I'm allergic to measuring, so I don't use it. I don't need it. This one doesn't have one, although this one is only a 9-inch cutting space, where this will cut 12 by 12. Now, I had purchased at St. Vinny's, in one of the bags that I just talked about a little bit ago, there was a package of no-name cutters, replacement blades, and they were in the bag, so I brought them home and I kept them, and sure enough, they fit. I guess they fit in here. And I must have had some replacements, because I had written on here, and I've started to do this now, right on here, when I changed it. I changed it 9/12 of 24, and I put it in all 3 places, because who knows what's going to wear out fastest or first. Anyway, I had a couple of these, and I tried to put it in here, or vice versa. I don't know. One would not fit in the other, and you can see they are just a tiny bit different. Just a tiny bit different. Why they wouldn't make them universal is beyond me. Like, why? But literally, when I put the wrong one in this one and I put it up to the top, this would bow. It would bow this whole thing right out. It would slide okay here to here, but it wouldn't go top to bottom. It would not move freely like that. Like these move really freely. This one in here will not move freely, and vice versa. So I ended up having to order, because they're totally useless. If these little blades get dull, they just jam up. They just, and they're just tiny, tiny little blades. They can only cut so much. Quite often, this little groove gets filled with crap, and that can junk up your cuts too. So I just take a sharp little pointy orange wood stick, whatever I have that has a sharp little point on, even a sharp pencil will do the trick, and I just clean out that gutter, and it gets all those little paper fibers out of there, and that will improve your cut. But there's nothing like a fresh, sharp blade. Now, the one I took out of here was from 2021. And so it lasted 3 years. I don't use it every single day, but I do use it a lot. I use it a lot. And so 3 years is not bad at all. Cuts like butter. Now, imagine that. What a sharp blade could do. Put them away where I know where to look for them. One last thing a couple more things, I guess. I thought I was done. Found a few of these little canvases. They're just tiny little, I found a little, 3 by 3 inch one too, a couple of little tiny ones. Just canvases. Super, super fun. I've seen Creative Paula do some really fun things on these little canvases. You save them and save them and save them for just that right project. This would make fun. Do a little collage, pouring, all kinds of things. So I brought it up here where my paint is, and I'm going to do something with it. I don't know what exactly, but it's closer now than it has been the last 15 or 20 years to being painted. And I found this it's a tiny little binder, and I've seen people make lots of different projects with the Betty Crocker cookbook, but that's considerably bigger. It's a good couple inches taller and wider, and that's a big project. But I saw this It's from the 6-Week Body Makeover, which it has tabs already. It's already got loads and loads and loads of pages in it. So these could be collage pages. It could be anything. It could be a beautiful glue book. Look how much room you have to grow with a glue book stuff. It could be a collection of things. It could be a small colors glue book. You know, put your color in by tab and do purples here and in whatever order you want to do them in. I just think it's just a perfect size to do something like this. Keep an eye out when you're thrifting. Check out the books and the healthy lifestyle books and the diet books for this size of a binder. I'm sure there's lots of things like this. Weight Watchers probably has some. There's a cool pocket in it already. Up front, there's sliders. There's, you know, clear belly bands, sort of. You could have lots of fun with that, doing some kind of something with that. Use these as templates so you have the right size. I mean, there's all kinds of possibilities with this little bugger. And P.S. I just finally cleaned the paint spatter off my little TV. It's still on my sign and very much on my walls, but at least my TV is clean. It only took, I don't know how many months. I also have this to show you. I put this in the to-go pile. I purged it. I don't know if we can get it all on here. It is a fine bag. It has pockets here, a shoulder strap, very nice heavy-duty zippers that work. It's beautiful. Vinyl, so it's easy to clean. It's from when I sold Mary Kay in a previous life. Yes, I sold Mary Kay. I love the product. It was easy to sell something that you love. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this on camera or not, but it's a massive bag. It has all of these pockets and Velcro-y pouches in there, and then the front of it unzips to more storage space. It's like a giant portfolio. This would fit a nice big project, and that's what I'm thinking. I put it in to donate to St. Vinny's bags, and on the inside here, this is the pouch we were just in that unzips out into like a portfolio, and then there's a nice big pouch in the center. And I also put this out to donate. It's a giant scrapbook. And, you know, kind of like sloe gin, when you've had enough of sloe gin, you never want to see it again. Like if you puke on boiled eggs, you don't eat boiled eggs anymore for maybe the rest of your life. I kind of feel that way about scrapbooking. I did so much of it that I'm sick of it. And when I saw this, I thought, oh, I don't want to do any more scrapbooking. I don't. But my Boston book is getting out of control. I haven't started this project yet, other than obviously to collect. And I keep collecting and collecting and collecting stuff for my Boston's book. Now, I have this little photo guy for my Boston's photos. I have literally thousands of photographs of my Boston crew, and some of them are printed out. I want to get most of them printed out, and I want to just put them in. I'm not going to do anything special to them at all, but I'm going to put them in an album, and they match. They're a matched set, and so I know I'll have more than enough to fill this and this 10 times over. But these can be Boston books. Okay, so I'm keeping it because I have lots and lots and lots of photographs that I have printed that I want to do something with. So this gives me an impetus to do that. I also had protective sleeves, and this is a post-bound book, so extra pages for my post-bound book, refill pages, and the paper. These come with pages and protectors, top-loading sheet protectors with the white insert sheets. This looks like it's just the page protectors. And then I had a whole bunch of these, which are a different style. They're the staple style, but I can cut that off and use these as the inserts for these. And all I want to do is just put the pictures on them and put them in the albums. Nothing crazy, because that's what my Boston book is. This is going to be where I get to go crazy with the Boston and the ribbons and the paw print this and the dog bone that. That's where I get to go crazy, is in that altered book. This is just going to be for photographs. And so I thought I could keep all of that in this beautiful Mary Kay bag. Once the project is done, then that Mary Kay bag would be a fabulous bag to travel craft stuff in. Speaking of that, I don't have them here to show you because I washed them and they're all hanging outside in the sunshine because they were down in my basement for far too many years. Anyway, I used that sanitizer in a nice hot wash and I hung them outside in the fresh air in the sunshine, and they're like new. And what I'm talking about are, one is a little sort of duffel bag type travel thing. It's not even enough for an overnighter, really. Just throw your jams in and a book, and that's about it. And it's this beautiful tartan plaid, and I just love it. I have had it, I think, since high school. I absolutely love it. I don't use it to travel. I don't travel very much anymore, and when I do, I have other things that I use, but I cannot, will not get rid of it. I have thought about cutting it up and using it for material, but I can't do that either. I can't cut it up. I just love this bag. So I'm going to use it for projects. There were several bags down there that I really, really liked enough to wash them and deal with them and get them back to nice. I'm going to use them to put different projects in. I also found gorgeous blueberry container that you'd get from a blueberry farm. It's a giant heavy duty box that would probably put 8 quarts of blueberries in. It's heavy duty. Well, I'm saving for a blueberry book, right? So I've got all this stuff going for my blueberry book. I'm going to use the blueberry box to store the blueberry project, right? So I'm finding all kinds of these things that I'm having to look at in a different way. If I'm going to keep them, I have to use them. How am I going to use them? I'm going to use them for projects. And if that doesn't work, well, then I'll either have to come up with a plan B or make them go away. If I'm not using them, someone else could. So get rid of it, because I am ready to do the purge of my stuff. I am so ready. So lots and lots of fun things found in my basement. You can see the bottom of my desk now. I will continue cleaning so that I can bring you the next videos. I don't think I have anything else this moment that I want to share with you. I hope you got some ideas here. I hope that some of this resonated with you and inspired you to go find some cool stuff in your own basement. Go to a thrift store with some specific finds in mind. Write down the things that you want to find. That's putting a note to the universe saying, hey, this is on my wish list. Letting it go, let the universe handle it, and either it'll be at St. Vinny's or someone will say, hey, I had this stuff in my basement, you want it? It will turn up. You watch. In the meantime, go love up your Beasleys. Give them extra belly rubs, extra treats. If they look up at you longingly and they're begging for your attention, give it to them. Because they're not here very long.